Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. So, it's been a minute since I made one of these videos. Today, I wanted to make one of them. And today's one is going to be titled, what do I title today's video? I'm going to title it, It doesn't cost you anything to be nice. Or I'm going to talk about why it doesn't cost you anything to be nice. I'm on my way to the supermarket, so I'm trying to make this video quickly so that I can finish up. Now, a lot of people today take pride in saying, and I used to be a part of this people, maybe I still am, in saying things like, oh, I am myself, I am who I am, blah, 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 blah. And that's actually a good thing. You can be yourself. You don't have to take rubbish. You don't have to tolerate bullshit or things that you don't want to tolerate. Good morning. You don't have to tolerate things that you don't want to tolerate. Yeah. But the most important thing is that doesn't mean that you have to be not nice or you have to be mean. What do I mean by that? It's the simple things. Like good morning. Right? Now, I've been in Nigeria for a while now, and when I walk into an Uber, generally the first thing I say is good morning, good afternoon. I sit down, and then I go ahead, I proceed to ask the Uber driver, how has your day been? Right? How has your day been? Now, this is a standard practice. It doesn't matter if it's an Uber, a Bolt, or even if I just entered someone's car. That's just me, my personality generally, because I'm a bit extroverted. I tend to want to spark conversation, and if I see that the person I want to strike conversation is not interested, then I go my way. But here's the thing. It's not really about the conversation. It's about it doesn't cost you anything extra to be nice. I'm doing that because I want to be nice. And it was interesting. Recently, a few days ago, I sparked a conversation with an Uber driver. And I told him, hi. He said something like, oh, my day hasn't gone well. So I was like, oh, tell me about why. Come on. Jokingly. And then this guy started opening up about the atrocious stage in life he has. In Nigeria, obviously, sometimes people might maybe see that you have an accent and they might think, oh, I'm just going to come up with a story to make this person feel sorry for me. And then hopefully you can get a little something. This wasn't the case. I'm from Festac Town. It's very difficult for you to run me street. And it wasn't about money or anything. This guy was just having an atrocious time and he was really depressed. And he even said he was depressed. So I work in mental health and I could also see some of the signs. But trust me, by the middle of the conversation, I had started making this guy laugh. He had started laughing. And by the end of the conversation, he was saying, thank you. You don't know what you've just done. You don't know what you've just done to me. He didn't ask me for money or anything. People just sometimes need someone to just extend an olive branch, to be nice to them. And it doesn't cost us anything to just simply be nice to people. Literally does not cost you any extra amount of money or time. It really does. And he was saying, the typical person will get into the Uber, be like, where are you? And not be nice and not say anything, just sit down and not ask how to. I can't do that. And you don't have to do that to be a good person. But just, a little bit of EQ goes a long way. It does go a long way to just help people. So I really, 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 really implore that people meet other people and try to be nice to them. And the reason why I take this message very seriously is yesterday also what happened is I went to my high school and I specifically sought out to meet one specific teacher, Mr. Silva. Now, a lot of people don't know me, but I've had a very tough journey, which someday I'm going to talk about a little bit more in detail. But without getting into detail, because it's a little bit personal, Mr. Silva, there was a point in my life where I was not this smart. I was not this confident. I was not this, let's say, this extroverted part of me was hidden. and it was more the introverted Sunny, non-confident Sunny. When I'm not confident, I don't tend to be extroverted. I tend to stay quiet, and I tend to be a different person because I'm naturally an extroverted person, but that comes with confidence of knowing myself and knowing what the hell I'm doing. And this guy, I was one of the worst performing students. They had to bring my mother in and say, hey, this kid of yours scored 40% in math, and if he doesn't get up to 50, he might have to retake the year. And obviously, at the time, my family was going through a lot of family issues. I'm not going to get into detail, that's very private, but those family issues tend to have a way to affect children in school. That's why you see some children performing badly in school. They're not bad children, they're not necessarily terrible children. Sometimes there's a bigger problem from home, and this was the case for me. It was a much deeper problem that I wasn't even aware of. And Mr. Silver used to say, Professor, that's the name he gave me, I believe in you. Your brain works like a computer. You just need to know how to use it. And at first, I was like, everybody has given up on me. Why is this one man believing in me so much? He must be up to something. He must be bad. There must be something wrong with him. I don't trust him. And I started believing in him. Before you know it, I started believing in myself as well. And suddenly I went from bottom of the barrel to the next year collecting 2 awards. One of them was for being the 3rd best overall student of the entire year. Now, not quite first, but they only give first, second, third. And I went from bottom barrel to 3rd best overall in an entire year of maybe 40, 50, 60 near 100 children. And that's a huge achievement. It's a huge achievement in the grand scheme of things. And I didn't really understand what Mr. Silva. There was one particular guy. I always used to tell Mr. Silva, I cannot beat him. It's impossible to beat him. And I beat that guy. And he told me, didn't I tell you you beat him? And yesterday when I went to see Mr. Silva, for the first time in my life, I said, I looked at you, I sought you out. Bought him a little gift. And I said, you don't know what you've done for me in my life. You've changed my life. And I didn't understand at the time I was growing up. We're growing up now. You believe in me and just be nice to me. He could have just been the average lesson teacher, come to my house, just do his job and go home. He was like a father to me, And I told him, I am telling you that you've changed my life in this particular. I've never told my father this. I've never told my mother this, but I'm telling you this. You are fundamentally one of the people that is responsible for where I am today and where I'm going to head to, hopefully, if I get to a better place. And he was almost in tears. I could see the emotions, but I was also emotional, and I'm not a very emotional person, or not a very visibly emotional person. And he was almost in tears because he was just overwhelmed, and then, give him a little gift, give him my number, said, you can talk to me, call me anytime, anything you need, any problem you have. And he was just, now I'm taller than him, he's a little bit older, and he was just taken away by emotions that, he did his little Christian prayer. I was just saying amen and closing my eyes. And, another teacher came in and joined us because I used to be quite popular at the school. But this is the reason why I say it doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. You'd be so surprised the small actions you take. In my case, I needed Mr. Silva to come in and be nice to me and change my life and made me have self-belief and believe that I was worth something. And that's the thing. The Uber driver I spoke to, I don't know, maybe he wanted to commit suicide. I don't know what case he was, but just by speaking to him and asking him, how did your day go? You change people's lives. And it doesn't cost you anything to be nice. Maybe somebody needs a lift, drop them off. Maybe somebody wants a little something. And sometimes when I come online and I see people on social media, they are just being vile and, they want to destroy and everything. No one that is happy can do that. And the only way you can be happy in this life, I read a book saying the happiest people have one thing in common. As they age, they had a lot of people around them. Isolation is one of the key driving factors of depression. If you're isolated, you're going to be depressed, right? You're going to be. In fact, this is one of the advice I gave that guy at the Uber. I gave him 4 pieces of advice to fight depression based on my study and also things. And I told him he didn't have to listen to it. It was just him asking me. And so you had well, I just lost my train of thought there. So yeah, he basically depression, isolation is one of the key drive factors. But here's the bigger thing: it's not about having people around you to serve you. It's around having people around you that you serve. You get a bigger dose of dopamine and all of that, and healthy dose of like self-actualization and dopamine by serving people, which means by just being nice to people, quote unquote, by serving them, saying good morning, being grateful, calling someone to just say how are you, to catch up, um, thinking about how you can help, think about how you can serve, you know like a lot of things. And I'm not trying to blow my trumpet here, there's so much I need to learn, but I'm lucky that a lot of this kind of comes maybe a little bit more natural to me because I'm extroverted, and luckily I'm in a financial place that I can actually even help. Even things like when I go for Google I would rent a car, um, you know, um, because I want to be the African community at Google I/O. I'd rent a car, would go for dinner, I'd organize dinners, and I'd even go as far as paying for these dinners because I just want to maintain this relation. I want to build them. I'm not trying to make someone else like me. I actually just enjoy making other people happy because I've gotten to a place where I'm very, very happy fundamentally, and I'd like to share that. And that's the whole idea. The fastest way to getting happy is by sharing and by making other people, by serving other people. So please, today, if you're feeling down, I promise you, find someone to serve. Find that niece of yours, go pick her up from school, buy her something. Find that girlfriend of yours, just say hello, be nice, surprise them. Find that boyfriend of yours, do something. Your mother, you know, think about her, just come spend 5 minutes. Your father, over the weekend I took my father to dinner, and it was crazy because that was the first time in my whole life as an adult I had taken my father out, just me and him, without anybody else, and he really loved it. Of course, he spent half the time telling me to get married, but you do that and find someone to serve, you know. Go to the boys in your area, shandy them 500 if you have, shandy them 1000, speak to them, be a little bit accessible, serve people, go teach a class for free, buy someone some food. This is something I always do that works. Buy someone some food. That always works. Just serve people. Serve. Very important. Doesn't cost you anything to be nice. Sani Yusuf, and I'm out.